Okay, we're back. I actually let these go for about 20 minutes, and they're pretty hard. So they're pretty much ready to be demolded now. On some of them, if you look real close, you can see how it's fairly dark around the edge, but then you've got a few streaks that are lighter. That's part of the mixing, part of the pouring. When you add the dye, it does do some weird stuff. But we've got, after about 20 minutes, I mean, they're ice cold, which is one way that you can tell that your mixture has fully set, is that they're cold. Now, I doubt if it'll show up on the camera, but there are a lot of teeny tiny bubbles on the very surface of the backs of these. Hopefully they're all small, and if we got any on the other side, for this particular project, it doesn't really matter as much. For something with more detail, it may. So we're going to start off with our new mold, because this is the mold that we just created for this video. And we'll start to peel it off. Pretty much peeling them off is the same way you did for actually removing the masters. And there goes one of them. Actually turned out pretty good. I mean, we can see we've got the little edge between the regular plastic base and then our resin piece that we popped on top of it. A lot of the detail actually came through pretty nicely on that one. A little hard to see in the video. Try and get this towards the center of the camera. So there's one of them. Go ahead and take the other ones out. Yeah. See, with the mold release, it makes them come out really, really easy, which is nice. These actually turned out really dark, which, like I said, I'm in shock. Normally with that particular brand, I end up with a light gray one. These actually ended up dark. So I guess I did put a bunch in there this time. Huh. But you can see that those turned out really, really well. The white speck that's in this one, that's actually some clay left over that was down in the mold itself. No biggie. When we wash this one, it'll come right out of there. These actually, there's a little bit of a raised lip, so I shouldn't have to sand too much on these to get these nice and level. So we got the first few out. We'll go ahead and pop out some of the others that I did. This is one I did earlier. They're coming out relatively easily. Same thing. You can sort of smush them around and they come out. So there's another one. And that one's got a lot of, that one actually trapped in some air. And we'll see if you can see it right there. Hard to see, but there's a big monster air bubble right there that got caught in it. Oh well, who cares? It's battle damage. And this one kind of mushroomed. I actually overfilled this one, so I'll try and turn this so you can see. You see that extra little bit right there? That's where I overfilled it. So that one I'm going to have to do some sanding on, to do some trimming before I do the sanding to get a good solid feel out of it. Alright, pop out these last few. That one turned out really, really nice. I'm not seeing too many air bubbles. And the few that I am seeing aren't really problems. Let's see what I'm going to do here to cut down on some of the other background noise. Because of course you can't work in silence. I mean, let's face it. It's kind of boring watching molds dry or set. Ooh, that one turned out really, really good. You can actually see there's a little skull right there, right above the end of my finger. Little skull turned out pretty good in that one. And there's actually a Chaos Space Marine shoulder pad that I put into this one that was kind of battle damaged. I wanted this one to look like, hey, this is, like a standing over a killing field. So they put a few little extra things in that particular mold. The big rock one. Alright, and there's our big rock one, and it actually turned out really well too. So, all that's left is to sand them down. Once I get them sanded, you then want to scrub them. You want to scrub them really, really well. Use something that's going to cut grease, because the mold release it's kind of a waxy, greasy thing. And if you try and prime without washing them really well, your paint's just going to flake back off. And what you'll find out is it's not going to flake back off instantly. It's normally going to flake back off when you get about 95, like almost completely done with it. Then you're going to touch it and all of a sudden all the paint's just going to pop right off of it. So you want to wash them really good. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my molds, give them a nice wash down as well, using some soap, some hot water, and that's it. So there you have it. We've gone from beginning to end. We've started off with our originals, taken them and done our molds, and that's a wrap.